that the United States may be working its way out of the recession. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening. Dan Rather reporting. The U.S. Supreme Court is slapping new limits on what public schools must do to desegregate. Civil rights groups see the court's 8-0 decision today as a setback for long-time efforts at equal education. CBS News law correspondent Rita Braver has more about the ruling and the wide impact it may have.
DeKalb County, Georgia once ran separate schools for white and black children. In 1969, the federal courts ordered the county to desegregate. But today, Charlotte Brown, like most black students in the county, still goes to a school that's mostly black.
I basically think that there is inequality in our school system.
Alex Bach, like most white students in the county, still attends a mostly white school.
It's really a free country, and I should have a choice of what school I go to.
And in a ruling that could affect hundreds of school districts, the U.S. Supreme Court today said DeKalb County does not have to correct the racial imbalance because it's a result of where people have chosen to live, not of deliberate discrimination.
If it becomes a situation where no matter what you do, housing patterns done by the personal preference of individuals cause an imbalance in the school, you need not try and overcome that.
Today's decision reversed a lower court ruling ordering the county to achieve racial balance, even if it meant forced busing. Blacks, like Charlotte Brown's parents, had argued that without change, the mostly black schools would continue to get fewer resources. Black students continue to get inferior educations.
When I look at the SAT scores, automatically all the black schools are at the bottom and the white schools are at the top. That tells me that there's an academic achievement quality problem in our schools.
But today, the Supreme Court said that as long as the school district really tried to end segregation, racial balance was not to be achieved for its own sake.
An awful lot of school districts are going to argue that the segregation that exists today is no longer their fault. Some of those school districts may well convince judges that they should be relieved of the responsibility to ever desegregate.
And that could ultimately result in a lot more schools like the ones that Charlotte Brown and Alex Bach attend. Rita Braver, CBS News, Washington.
In another ruling, the Supreme Court upheld the system used to decide how many seats each state gets in the U.S. House of Representatives. Seats are gained or lost based on the national census. The court said today the system is not perfect, but it is constitutional. The ruling is a defeat for Montana, which is losing one of its 2 House seats. There's a killer on the road. That's the conclusion of a new survey about truck safety. The killer? Trucks with bad brakes. As James Hattori reports, that can be a bad brake for you.
Big trucks and bad brakes often make a deadly combination. Today, the government said the problem is even bigger than it thought. A spot check showed that 60% of all trucks on the road in 5 states had brake problems severe enough to require immediate action.
Many carriers and drivers of commercial vehicles fail to understand the need for well-maintained and properly balanced brake systems.
The government blames defective parts, poor management, indifferent drivers. Troopers who do the checking say the situation is worse among independent truckers.
They look at it as they don't have time to do it. They're trying to get a load from one point to another point in order to get paid. So they don't have time to be under the truck jacking with the brakes.
It'd be very stupid for me to go out there with bad brakes, bad anything. Why would I want to take my life in my own hands?
Critics blame the government for being slow to act on an old problem.
Department of Transportation hasn't done its job, hasn't issued the truck brake standards for stopping distance that it should have.
The concern for trucking safety comes as big rig operators face increased scrutiny. Tomorrow's the deadline for obtaining a new federally certified commercial driver's license. Without one, drivers won't be allowed behind the wheel. The new licenses are designed to catch truck drivers who've hidden bad driving records by having multiple licenses from different states. Many truck drivers see it as more government meddling.
A lot of hassle. A lot of hassle.
If they're not in compliance with them, they're placed out of service. They've written a ticket and been placed out of service until they come in compliance and get the driver's license.
Regulators hope the new licenses and a crackdown on brake problems will help reduce truck accidents, which kill nearly 5,000 Americans every year. James Hattori, CBS News, Dallas.
The government says its official index of leading economic indicators rose in February. That's the second straight monthly increase, and the latest sign offered as indicating that better times may be ahead. As CBS News Money correspondent Ray Brady reports tonight, confidence in the economy appears to be building at least some.
The whirring of those saws is music to John Henderson. He sells a lot of lumber to the construction business. And with building up, so's his business and possibly the American economy.
It's more of the bulk material. It's flooring, sheetrock, ceilings, and things are picking up. The building industry is busy.
Builders are taking out permits to put up more houses, and people are working longer hours. That helped push up today's index of leading economic indicators by 0.8%. Al Mello felt so good he's taken a trip to Florida.
I don't think we're completely out of it, no, but I think it's starting on an upswing.
In another survey out today, consumer confidence, low until just recently, saw its first increase in 9 months. But that same survey shows that while Americans are feeling better, they're still cautious about spending.
I'm not spending more, but I feel a little more comfortable spending.
Still, it's going to take heavy consumer spending to turn this from a slow to a strong recovery. And that worries some economists.
We've just seen a slight uptick in consumer psychology from very depressed levels, but there's no guarantee that consumers are going to come out of the starting blocks spending heavily.
If some economists have their fingers crossed, it's because they feel consumers won't spend money again until the job picture improves. But they worry that the next set of unemployment figures due out this Friday will show the jobless rate continuing to hang high. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, a United Nations effort to force the hand of Muammar Gaddafi, and the consummate consumers, kids with cash. Economic sanctions unless Libya surrenders a half dozen suspected terrorists. The Bush administration continues to say that Syria and Iran were not involved. Bill Plant is covering the story.
The Security Council voted to punish Libya for refusing to turn over suspects in the bombings of Pan Am Flight 103 and a French airliner. It's only the second time the Security Council has imposed sanctions, and today's, like the sanctions on Iraq, carry the threat of force. The Libyans see this as the prelude to a repeat of the U.S. bombing raid on Tripoli in 1986.
This attempt to lead international public opinion astray is but paving the way to another act of aggression against peaceful Libyan cities.
The embargo cuts off commercial airline flights between Libya and UN member states, forbids arms sales, and calls on Libya to renounce terrorism. It takes effect April 15 if the Gaddafi government has not turned over the suspects. But critics say it's worthless because it doesn't embargo the one thing which keeps Muammar Gaddafi in business, oil.
Unless and until we're willing to boycott the export of Libyan oil, and naval blockade if necessary, we will not get Gaddafi's attention.
Critics also charge the Bush administration has deliberately overlooked evidence that Syria was also involved in the plot to blow up Pan Am 103. But senior officials insist, both privately and publicly, that they have no such information.
We said that the evidence in this case had pointed to Libya and that there was no evidence that Syria had been involved in this particular attack.
The State Department says it's concerned about reports that Westerners are now being refused permission to leave Libya. And it strongly advised the estimated 500 to 1,000 Americans who are there to depart immediately. That sounds like a further threat. But officials say that at the moment, there are no U.S. plans to use force against Libya. Bill Plant, CBS News, the State Department.
Boris Yeltsin's economic shock therapy got a stamp of approval today from the International Monetary Fund. The IMF indicated it will grant Russia full membership next month. That will make Yeltsin's government eligible for billions of dollars in international loans. More news straight ahead, so stick here with us.
Stranger and his trusty grill stood ready for the fight. Other sauces get bullseye to see which tasted right. And as the smoke rose off his grill, Hunt's was laid to waste. Then Masterpiece and Heinz dropped out against Bullseye Big Bold Taste. Yes, the stranger had won the day with a sauce that beat the rest. The Big Bold Taste of Bullseye tastes the best. And now there's Bullseye's Bold and Chunky with big chunks of onion and green peppers.
My granny spaghetti recipe. With ordinary grated toppings? Oops. Some are 1/3 fats and fillers, but Kraft is 100% grated Parmesan for 100% great taste. Granny would approve.
Here's a sweet idea for breakfast. Try some sweet prune juice for a change.
It's naturally sweet.
CBS News New York Times poll finds many Republicans unsettled about the Bush quail ticket, and 2 out of 3 Democratic voters nationwide are not satisfied with Bill Clinton or Jerry Brown and wish someone else would run. And 1 week before the next big primary, Governor Clinton has abruptly changed the way he runs. More about that from correspondent Richard Threlkeld.
Along with Oprah and Phil and Geraldo on New York TV today, there were Bill and Jerry. There'll be an average of a debate a day until next Tuesday's New York primary. It's a switch in tactics by the Clinton campaign, which Brown claims is foundering here.
Just shows you that this race is volatile, it's close, and the next 7 days will prove the case.
Clinton's trying to go right to the voters rather than endure the mugging he thinks he's been getting from New York's tabloid media.
I'm not so much interested in the combat with Brown as I am having a way to find direct access to the voters to talk about these issues.
Jerry Brown.
If New Yorkers haven't exactly embraced Bill Clinton, they're no different than the rest of the electorate. In the CBS News New York Times poll, when voters were asked whether Clinton has more honesty and integrity than most people in public life, more than half said no.
Clinton, every time you turn around, who else? I don't know what else they're going to find out about the guy.
And despite Clinton's best efforts, there are a lot of New Yorkers who've come to regard him as Slick Willie.
He's always got a grin on his face, which I think is ridiculous for a man running for president. I mean, there are very important things in this world going on.
It can come as no comfort to Jerry Brown that many New Yorkers will be voting for him simply because he is not Bill Clinton. Our poll shows that more voters than not still view Clinton and Brown unfavorably. Some think maybe it's the system.
Well, the effect is that we're not getting the type of people that we should get to run our country. We're getting second stringers.
He's right. Who wants to go out there, put their name down, and have somebody do a witch hunt and ruin the man's reputation?
Above all, there's a growing yearning for somebody else to choose from, and a growing disgust that there isn't somebody else.
I'm not sure the pickings are all that good.
I'm not happy with Bush. I'm not happy with Clinton. Don't even have to talk about Brown.
It's kind of harder to choose because there's not as much to choose from.
Each of them, Bill Clinton and Jerry Brown, claims he has the winning message. What the voters seem to be saying is they just don't like the messengers, either of them. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
What if they gave a congressional hearing and nobody came? Well, the White House refused to supply witnesses for one panel today. Bob Schieffer explains why.
Under constant bombardment for their perks, congressional Democrats have tried to shift the fire by declaring war on high living at the White House. From the House floor, this salvo.
A glance into the opulence of executive branch staff and public servants shows undersecretaries being ferried around our streets by limousines, private dining rooms for cabinet secretaries, a White House with full-time florists and 4 calligraphers, and the list goes on.
White House officials were called to the Hill for questioning about all this, but none showed up. So with no one else to shoot at, the committee took pot shots at each other.
They're trying to divert attention away from the scandals of the U.S. House of Representatives down to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to get this monkey off their back.
Mr. Burton.
And the fact of the matter is, that should not be tolerated.
What is really intolerable, Democrats fired back, is how the White House hides the cost of its main perk, transportation. By the Democrats' count, the president was up and down these steps on 108 days in 1990, yet listed travel costs of only $29,000.
What we see here is a expenditure of more than likely in excess of $130 million of taxpayers' money that goes undisclosed to the American people.
Well, so's your old man, responded the lead Republican.
The chairman of the subcommittee took 5 staff members to Germany to check out the closure of some bases and how it would affect military personnel.
Whoever's at fault, election year sideshows like that have not stemmed the bad publicity here. Word has now leaked out that when government auditors dropped in unannounced late last week at the scandal-plagued House Bank, they found it was still a mess. Numerous errors in billing records, $75,000 in money orders stacked in an unlocked vault, and money shortages at the stamp counter. Bob Schieffer, CBS News at the Capitol.
Stay here with us now for more news, including the story behind the videotape of another California police beating.
Find out what you need to know tomorrow on CBS This Morning. It's breakfast for your head.
The National Basketball Association says it will take no action against Michael Jordan for his gambling activities. The league said today an investigation has turned up no evidence that the Chicago Bulls star ever bet on NBA games. Jordan reportedly has written checks to cover big losses in poker and golf games with gamblers. The NBA says Jordan has promised to be, and I quote now, more careful about his associations. Mike Tyson will stay behind bars while his lawyers appeal his rape conviction. An Indiana appeals court today turned down the boxer's request to be released on bail. Meanwhile, Tyson's lawyers confirmed that he is refusing prison meals, but they say it's not a hunger strike, just a crash diet. Another home videotape has surfaced in California with a now familiar scene, a police officer beating a suspect. Correspondent John Blackstone has the pictures and the story.
I'm doing my job. Now back off. I don't want to hurt anybody.
When the sheriff's deputy started yelling at George Nichols in Santa Cruz County, California last summer, Nichols' wife turned on her home video camera. The deputy had the wrong man. He was looking for a suspected child molester. Nichols says he asked over and over, "What's this all about?" The sheriff's department describes his behavior as belligerent. The deputy, Todd Liberty, has the full support of the sheriff's department.
The sheriff's office believes that Deputy Liberty used the appropriate level of force with proper application in this situation.
Get down on your face! Down on your face!
Nichols was a tourist on vacation with his family. He was charged with felony assault and with resisting an officer, but the charges were later dropped.
He'd already put his hands on his revolver 2 or 3 times. I knew that if there was any type of resistance, he was going to pull his gun out and shoot. There was no doubt in my mind about that.
Nichols intends to sue. He believes the home video will make his case for $15 million in damages.
Right there? Go. Okay?
John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
Coming up next, Eye on America. Tonight, how our children are spending their teen years. Who won't spend money. We found millions who are spending it as fast as they get it. No, they're not foreigners. They're our children. Frank Courier reports Eye on American Teens, from boppers to shoppers.
Stepping fast to the beat of a new generation, American teens are hooked on more than dancing. They're spending.
If I see something I like, I'll buy it.
Great shoe. Jeans, clothes, tape. You want everything.
Everything they can afford. 14-year-old Soren Spies buys a $150 portable compact disc player with cash. 17-year-old Jessica Rocha borrows her dad's Visa card to buy new spring clothes.
Want to charge that? Yes, please.
Will that be all?
With many working part-time jobs, they spend an average $50 a week. Children of the baby boomers, whose ranks this year are growing for the first time in 2 decades.
I have a job, and I have like $100 a week, and it's gone the first day.
I buy what I want. I don't listen to what other people say.
People our age are really insecure about, what they wear, what they do, everything, what they're going to buy. And, they're out to get us.
Just have fun, okay?
They are the advertisers taking fresh aim at teen consumers. From the face of big city billboards to a flood of new boy-girl magazines, even classrooms where Channel 1 serves up TV news and commercials to a captive audience.
I stick it on. And I won't get stuck with pimples?
Pimples?
Excuse me?
Who wants to try this?
To me, gotta have it is a way of life.
Everybody's got to have it.
Do you feel like you have to have it after you see them?
They want to be talked to. They want products and advertising that is uniquely for them. They want to be separated both from mom and dad as well as from younger brothers and sisters.
Choose change. British Line.
Okay, write down 3 things that you think work in advertising.
In research focus groups, Peter Zolo tracks the trends among America's 27 million teenagers.
Don't try to trick people. Just be very blunt.
Every week, new commercials are tested on their intended targets.
Did you like that?
It was so different than what you see, and I like that a lot.
I hate those beer commercials with the sexy blondes and the bikinis.
Yo! Still in an image-driven world of long legs and short attention spans, reality, sex, and humor experts say are magic to building brand loyalty with teens.
The realness is always going to have to be there. As soon as you get away from realness, they're hip to it. They know better than I do that 8 out of 10 commercials are awful.
More than ever, advertisers are targeting teenage trendsetters by tuning out the color, turning up reality, and what image makers call retail activism.
Imagination. I mean, where is it?
The world needs to be taken care of better. You have to fix the water, stop animal testing.
Look it up, cameras rolling.
A sportswear maker, Esprit, turned its recent ad campaign into social commentary after asking teens through a mailer what they'd do if they could change the world. Thousands replied.
Help poor people. Make recycling a national law.
Kids, they discovered, care as much about the world as they do the prom, and they said so in this series of company magazine ads.
The point was not, look, here's our clothing. The point was, look, we're listening. We want to hear what you have to say. Talk to us. We'll talk back to you.
16-year-old Rachel Hirsch was one who talked back.
It's finally been recognized what a great potential market we teenagers are. And in some ways, that's great. It's like, yay, someone's recognized us. And in other ways, it's terrible. It's like, oh, no, they found us, you know?
How much money you guys got?
A lot.
While critics charge that ads aimed at kids lead to impulse buying, teens say they're too smart for that. As this once invisible subculture invades America's malls, winning clout as the newest generation of big spenders.
I like those. I love those pants.
In Northbrook, Illinois, Frank Courier for Eye on America.
Killing Fields. Next time on Frontline.
It's Where You Belong, tonight at 9.
Directing your own death is particularly bizarre, is it?
It's a struggle not to be comedic at that moment, because when you say action...
Warren Beatty, talking with David Frost.
It's Where You Belong, tonight at 10. Funding for local broadcast of the McNeil-Lehrer News Hour has been provided by a grant from the Intel Foundation. Intel Corporation, the creator of advanced microcomputer chips and systems, has brought the power of microcomputer technology to millions worldwide.